Hello and welcome everybody to the forum. The forum started soon after the pandemic. The Tai Chi for Health Institute really want to keep the communication going. And since then, it has been more than 2 years, and we cover a lot of topics. The Tai Chi for Health Institute have only one purpose. Our purpose is to empower people to improve their health and wellness. And everything we do, the forum, is directly or indirectly for that goal. And all the topics are related to that. And today we have 3 distinguished speakers, and I will introduce them as they come. The first speaker, Kathleen Cameron, is a senior director of the Center for Healthy Aging of the National Council on Aging. So most people from USA would know National Council on Aging do a lot of good things for anybody, especially us older adults. I'm going to let Kathleen tell you about what wonderful work they did and what they expect the Tai Chi for Health Institute to be able to support that as well. So let me introduce Kathleen.
Wonderful. Well, I really want to thank you, Dr. Lamb and Elena Ferrier, for the opportunity to be with you this, well, it's evening my time, whatever time you're all in across the United States and other countries. Really pleased to meet all of you, and it's been a real pleasure over the last several years to get to know Elena. I now consider her a friend. We've met up at various conferences and hope to continue to do so in the coming years. But really happy to be here, as I say, and we can start the PowerPoint, Evan, if you'd like. Yeah, so I'm going to talk about a program that the Tai Chi for Health Institute has been part of actually since about 2014. And that is the Administration for Community Living's evidence-based falls prevention program. So I'll get into details in a moment, but before I get started, I wanted to share a little bit with you about the National Council on Aging. And on the next slide, I provide some information about our organization. We are the oldest national nonprofit organization dedicated to improving the lives of older adults in the United States. And we believe that aging well is something that every person in the United States deserves. And we have a vision of a just and caring society in which each of us, as we age, lives with dignity, purpose, and security. And we do that in a number of different ways. And I will, if you can go to the next slide, just share with you the work that we do. We have lots and lots of resources on our website that's available to anyone, professionals, older adults, caregivers, you name it. But we really pride ourselves on developing trusted, unbiased information that helps older adults and their caregivers to take steps that can have a big impact on their health and their financial security. And definitely everything that we do related to falls prevention, including promoting Tai Chi for arthritis and falls prevention, is part of that. We have developed a number of different personalized tools that are available online to support individuals to find benefits. We have something called the Benefits Checkup, which is a free service available to older adults, caregivers, people with disabilities to find out what benefits they're eligible for at the federal, state, and local level. So even that's not a focus of our presentation tonight, some of you may find that of interest for yourself or for family members, neighbors, or others. But it's a great resource to help people save money. And it helps them connect to different programs and then directs them to how they can fill out applications. We have tools on helping people find a Medicare plan, prevent falls, which is our focus this evening, help people manage their budget and plan for a healthy and secure life. We also do a lot of technical assistance and support for professionals who work with older adults, particularly those that work in communities across the country, like senior centers or area agencies on aging or faith-based organizations that serve older adults every day. And then finally, we also are a voice for older adults in the policymaking process. We do advocacy in Washington, D.C. We're actually located in Arlington, Virginia, very close to Washington, D.C. But we are a national platform and voice to fight against ageism and to strengthen federal programs like Medicare, Medicaid, the Older Americans Act that older adults depend upon. So we want to make sure that those programs are strong and that they're around for many, many years. So I direct NCOA Center for Healthy Aging, and our goal is to, similar to Tai Chi for Health Institute, is to prove health and wellness of older adults. And we believe that we want people to live long lives, but it's not just about the years, but it's about the quality of those years that's vitally important. And then we have a Center for Benefits Access that does a lot of work around benefits eligibility and access that I talked about a moment ago. Hear from grantees, and we can get that data. I think it's probably in it's like 65 to 68 range for because it tends to be more appropriate for, in some cases, for a slightly younger population, maybe a little bit more fit. Also, mostly female participants is what we found. Almost just about 80% are female. I don't know if you see the same thing as you offer Tai Chi for arthritis across the US and other countries. If you have any ideas in getting more men into the program, maybe we can talk about that. But yeah, mostly female. About 80%, 86% have at least some fear of falling. So these programs are appealing to them to help them kind of overcome that fear of falling. And some of the outcomes that we have evaluated, about 32% have a less fear of falling. 21% of participants report fewer falls, 10% fewer injurious falls, and then we also see significant increases in strength, balance, and ability to get up from a fall if they have experienced one. Or these are self-reported. Do you feel you have the ability to get up from a fall? And I think close to almost 90% say they are. So I put the reference for this study that we did a few years ago here on the slide, and you're welcome to take a look at that. It's a free article online to learn a little bit more about these programs. So we can go to the next slide. I really want to thank many of you who have supported these grantees over the last 9 years in training new instructors in the programs, recertifying instructors. I know many of you have been involved in that. I think many of you probably have actually led workshops or led, Tai Chi for arthritis programs. Also, just generally supporting instructors in delivering the program with fidelity, making sure it's, the movements are delivered appropriately, ensuring that the instructors feel comfortable with how to deliver the program. And I just want to also point out that Elena and many others also helped the grantees in figuring out how to move from in-person delivery at the start of the pandemic, because they were only delivering Tai Chi for arthritis and falls prevention in community sites. So when everything shut down at the beginning of the pandemic, they had to figure out how to deliver it virtually. And Elena, thank you so much for all you did during that period of time to ensure that they were delivering the program appropriately and safely virtually. And I know we continue to talk about that with the grantees, because they are, many of them have moved back to in person, but they're doing both. Virtual is here to stay with all of the evidence-based falls prevention programs. So, and then, just thank you for helping us improve the health, well-being, and quality of life of so many older adults across the United States. And just another shout out to Elena for serving as Tai Chi for Health Institute's U.S. Sort of supporter, technical assistance for all the grantees. You've just been tremendous. Elena leads a discussion group about every 3 months with the grantees that are delivering Tai Chi for arthritis, and is a great resource to answer questions about the programs, any challenges they may be having. So Elena, thank you for all you do. And with that, I will take any questions that anyone might have. Oh, this is some links for more information about all the work we do in falls prevention. We have a lot of resources for older adults and caregivers, and as well as professionals. Well, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Lamb.
Thank you, Kathleen. Let me change the view. Thank you for that very informative talk. I did forget one thing, introducing my team. It takes a village to have a forum run so well. So I'm going to catch up with that. Ernie, probably don't need any introduction. She really brings a lot of time, energy into it. If you got lost, she would take you here. Do you want to say anything, Ernie?
Thank you so much. Yeah, this was wonderful information to know. Anyone that has questions can put it into the chat box, and we'll try to get around to that. What we're seeing so far is just thanking Kathleen for that wonderful information to this point. So they're thinking about it. Questions at any time, go ahead and put in, and we'll get those to Kathleen or to Elena or to Pat or to Dr. Lamb. Thank you for coming, everyone.
But I just want you guys to know that right from the beginning, Elena has done so much work to bring the Tai Chi for arthritis and fall prevention program to the grantees and working with NCOA. So here's Elena, your talk, please.
Good evening, Dr. Lamb. I'll try just to take maybe a couple minutes. I just wanted to recap, first of all, if you decide to go on NCOA.org, that if you're looking for evidence-based programs or whatever topic you're looking for, just put it in the Google box if you forget the link. So that's how to do that. That's the fastest way. That's what I do. So as we mentioned earlier, we are part of a larger team of professionals, of people who share the common vision to prevent falls prevention. We're talking about pharmacists, optometrists. We're talking about not only medical doctors. We are part of this team that is really interested in reducing the risk of falls to participants, and we do that through TCAFP, of course. So tonight, I just want you to take a moment to really pause and consider the importance of evolving ourselves, how we teach as fellow instructors. Are we evolving to meet the social, economic, as well as the physical needs of the members that come to us? Are we really looking at that? So you have to stop, pause, take a look at how we are teaching. Do we change the orientation of the room? Do we change the music? Do we do something a little bit different in our practice, and yet stay with the fidelity of the program? There's many ways you can evolve in meeting what's happening in our age now. And one way that the TCHI has done that is through the SIPP program, the SIP program. They're so courageous for them to look at it, to change their name to from stage 1 to SIP, because they were meeting the needs of the people. And why do they like it? I will tell you from the people that come to our meetings with the NCOA is that they can prepare for the certification, of course, we know, at their own pace. And if we look at the background, we know that these people are probably overworked. They're doing 2 jobs because of the cutbacks, or there's shortage of personnel, and also the funding that they have to do 2 in 1. So that the funds are a little bit different, not as great as it used to be. And what's really nice is Dr. Lamb has also extended the viewing time, because all of them have said they enjoy the programs when they have more time with the program, with the videos. By going through the SIPP program, the instructors are also sensitive to participants who are not willing to travel to a class. They're happy, they're content with Zoom classes. Therefore, it's important that our instructors through the SIPP program have an opportunity to learn on a virtual platform, to learn, to become familiar, to become comfortable. The rate of instructors coming out now as a result of our programs are much higher than they were in the past.
That's from Florida, she's the chair of the education committee in the Tai Chi for Health Institute. So Pat's going to talk about stretching.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you all for being here. When Elena and I were talking about the plan for this evening, this whole idea of stretching your Tai Chi, as we talked about it, we said that can mean so many things. And I had been invited to represent TCHI on October 18th at a meeting for the National Association of Chronic Disease Directors. And I did not realize how much it would stretch my own viewpoint and the opening up, the expansion. And that's what we're hoping this forum does, that it stimulates a little bit more of broadening the perspective of each and every one of us here. When I went to the meeting, I learned so many things. I had been talking to representatives of the Association for Chronic Disease Directors, but here's the background that got more finely tuned for me. The National Association, NACDD, works very closely with the CDC. I got a glimpse of I said to Elena, remember in the Wizard of Oz movie when toward the end they pull aside the curtain and there's the man behind the curtain working all the little controls. So my basic understanding is that the CDC has funding, and they're the big national clearinghouse for this funding, but then they can portion out federal money that can go to many different areas, such as for falls prevention, such as chronic disease. So NACDD deals with many things, many conditions, not just arthritis, but the meeting I was at had to do with arthritis management and well-being. And it turns out, I think there's a department in the CDC now that is focused on arthritis management and well-being. NACDD is focused on a holistic approach to community health. So it can include many other things in its work. But the meeting I was at was for grantees of new federal funds that had become available for arthritis management. Just arthritis, no fall prevention tacked in there. 20 million plus people in the USA alone have arthritis at this time. The work of NACCD covers all 50 states, but also 9 territories. And
I think that's a really important thing that you could consider sharing with your participants if you're teaching. So just wanted to make a quick plug for that. You can read more about that in Dr. Lamb's newsletter.
I'm going to officially say goodbye to everybody, and that's the closing of the forum.